Hello students, welcome for today's session. In today's session, we are going to perform a practical of heavy metal limit test. I, Professor MG Shinde, welcomes to all of you for today's practical. The learning objectives of today's practical to know the definition, general principle, aim, principle of heavy metal limit test, procedure, observation, conclusion and result. So very first of all, limit test. Limit is a value or amount that is likely to be present in the substance, while the test is to examine or to investigate. As already we have discussed that impurity is a foreign matter or unwanted substance that is present in the compounds. So we have to find out here the limit for the impurity. Now the general definition of limit test is it is defined as a quantitative or semi-quantitative test designed to identify and control small quantities of impurities which are likely to be present in the substance. The main importance of the limit test is to find out the harmful amount of impurities. It is also helpful to find out avoidable and unavoidable amount of impurities. There are different types of limit tests based upon comparison method, quantitative determination, test in which there is no visible reactions. The general principle behind the limit test is if the sample is lighter than that of standard solution, then it is within the pharmacopoeia limit and it is accepted. If the sample is darker, heavier than the standard solution, then it is above the pharmacopoeia limit and it is rejected. While performing the limit test, we have to take into consideration some general precautions. First, the liquid used must be clean and filtered if necessary. Generally, we are using here distilled water. Second, the Nestler cylinder must be made up of colorless glass and of the same inner diameter. While detecting opalescence or color development must be performed in the daylight, when comparing a turbidity, it should be done against black background, while when we are comparing the color, it should be done against white background. So these general precautions we have to take into considerations. Now, whenever we are going to use a apparatus that is Nestler cylinder, it should be satisfy the following specifications. It is a clear glass cylinder with the normal capacity of 50 ml. The overall height is about 15 centimeter. The external height to the 50 ml mark is up to 11 to 12.4 centimeter and the thickness of the wall is around 1 to 1.5 mm maximum and the thickness of the base is about 1 to 3 mm. The external height to the 50 ml mark of cylinders used for the test must not differ by more than 1 mm between the two Nestler cylinders. So this is about the diagram of the Nestler cylinder. So here it is the mark is given. So between these two marks there should be not a difference of more than 1 mm. Now our today's practical aim, very first of all we have to write down the aim, that is to perform the limit test for heavy metals. For the performing the limit test for heavy metals we require following requirements. So first of all, apparatus, pair of Nestler cylinder, glass rod, stand, measuring cylinder, spatula and pipette of 10 ml and 25 ml. Next we require some chemical requirements. Here we require lead standard solution of 20 ppm, dilute acetic acid, dilute ammonia solution and a freshly prepared hydrogen sulfide solution. So while performing the practical we require to perform following preparations. First we require to prepare lead standard solutions of 20 ppm. Here we require to dilute 1 volume of lead standard solution by 5 volumes with the water, the distilled water. We require to prepare freshly prepared hydrogen sulfide solution. Here we have to prepare the hydrogen sulfide solution by using Gibbs apparatus. We will use iron sulfide beads, and we will allow them to react with the dilute sulfuric acid in the Krebs apparatus that will produce the hydrogen sulfide gas, and that H2S gas is saturated in the distilled water solution. Next, we require to prepare dilute acetic acid. Here we will use 57 ml of glacial acetic acid to 1000 ml of distilled water. We require to prepare dilute ammonia solution. Here we will dilute 425 ml of strong ammonia solution to 1000 ml by distilled water. Now the principle of today's practical. It is based upon the reaction between the solution of heavy metal and saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide. In acidic media, it produces reddish black color with the hydrogen sulfide, which is compared with the standard lead nitrate solution. Generally, most of this produces heavy metal produces a lead sulfides, that is metal sulfide ions, and that will produces the color or precipitate to the solutions. So the reaction involved in today's practical, lead nitrate in presence of H2S gas, that will give the formation of lead sulfide, which is having black precipitate. We can also perform along with the sodium sulfide. So here we will found that in diagram that there is a black precipitate of lead sulfide is observed, or a color developed to the standard solution as well as standard and sample depends upon the presence of impurity. Now while performing the procedure, we have to take 250 ml Nessler cylinder, mark them as a test and standard. So here we required to take pair of 250 ml of Nessler cylinders, label them as a test and standard. First of all, we have to dissolve the specified quantity of the substance dissolved in distilled water and dilute it to the 25 ml with water, and then transfer to the Nessler cylinder, which is marked as a test. Similarly, we can take 2 ml of standard lead solution and transfer it to the Nessler cylinder and dilute it to the 25 ml with the distilled water to the Nessler cylinder, which is marked as a standard. Now next step is to have to adjust the pH between 3 to 4 by dilute acetic acid or dilute ammonia. Further, we can dilute it to 35 ml with the distilled water. Then next step, I have to add 10 ml of freshly prepared H2S solution in both the Nessler cylinder and make up the volume to 50 ml by distilled water. Mix both the solutions and allow to stand for 5 minutes separately, and we have to then observe the quantity of black precipitate of lead sulfide form, and then we have to compare the lead sulfide form in the test sample with that of standard sample. So now we will actually perform the practical. Welcome to this session. Now today we are going to perform a limit test for heavy metals. So very first of all, for this heavy metal limit test, we require a solution of standard solution of heavy metal and a saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide. The principle of this heavy metal limit test, it is based upon the reaction between the solution of heavy metal and heavy metals like bismuth, lead, etc. These are the different type of heavy metals. Whenever the solution of heavy metal is treated along with the saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide. Generally, in acidic media, it produces some metal sulfides, which are the distributed in colloidal state, and that produces either some kind of color like reddish color, or sometimes it will produces a black colored precipitate. Now, generally the reaction behind this principle, we can say that is whenever there is a reaction occur between the heavy metal and hydrogen sulfide. So these heavy metals along with this hydrogen sulfide produces heavy metal sulfides. So we can take an example of lead nitrate. So there is a presence of lead heavy metal. When it is treated with the saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide, it produces lead sulfide. Now all of you familiar that lead sulfide is available as a black colored precipitate. Similarly, we can take another sample, lead chloride. When it is treated with the sodium sulfide, again it produces similarly a black precipitate of the lead sulfide. Now, this is based on the comparison of the black color precipitate produced in the standard solution along with the test solution, or sometimes if there is color, then the intensity of color is compared with the intensity of color of the test sample is compared with the standard. Now, during this heavy metal limit test, we can observe the production of the black precipitate in the test and standard. Now, whenever we compare black precipitate produced in the test solution along with the standard, when we compare this, and if it is observed that the black precipitate produced in the test sample is less as compared to that of standard, then we can conclude that the given test sample has less soluble lead impurities as compared to that of standard, that is within the pharmacopoeia, and we can conclude that the given sample passes the limit test. Now, as earlier we discussed, now we actually perform this practical. Now, for performing the practical, the requirements, basically there are two type of requirement required. We need some glass pairs and chemicals. The requirement of the glass pairs, here we require very first of all a pair of Nessler cylinder. So we will first of all mark this. So here we will mark one Nessler cylinder as a test and other as a standard. So this is the pair of Nessler cylinder. Apart from this, we require a 50 ml measuring cylinder, 10 ml measuring cylinder, funnel, and a pipette of 10 ml and 1 ml respectively. So we also require chemicals. So very first of all, we require the distilled water. Then we require a test sample solution. Now we can prepare this test sample by taking any type of sample. For example, we can take an ammonium chloride, and in 2 gram of ammonium chloride we will add 10 ml of distilled water. Then by making the volume up to 25 ml, we will prepare this test sample. Now next we require to prepare a standard lead solution. Here we will take 1 ml of lead stock solution and 1 volume of lead stock solution and 5 volume of distilled water. And by making this volume, adjusting the volume up to 50 ml, we will produce the lead standard solution. For this, while performing this practical, what to keep in mind that every time we have to use the distilled water. So always while performing the practical, we have to use a distilled water. Now we require to prepare the hydrogen sulfide solutions. So while preparing hydrogen sulfide solution, it should be a freshly prepared hydrogen sulfide, as the hydrogen sulfide solution contains H2S gas. It can be diffuses as later on, and the solution will become less saturated. So it should be always prepared freshly. Okay. Apart from this, we require to maintain a pH between the 3 to 4. That means whenever we are going to perform this practical, we require acidic environment, so that uh, for maintaining the pH we have requirement, that is a dilute acetic acid and dilute ammonia solutions. So we can prepare the dilute acetic acid by taking 10 ml of glacial acetic acid and making volume up to 100 ml. We can prepare this dilute acetic acid. Similarly, by taking 425 ml of strong ammonia solution and making the volume up to 1000 ml, we can prepare the strong ammonia solution. So these are the chemical requirements which we require for the practicals. That means already we have seen the classical requirement and chemical requirements. So now whenever we require a hydrogen sulfide solution, it will be freshly prepared. So very first of all we will see step by step the procedure for this practical. Always remember that the glass plate should be washed or rinsed very well with the help of, first of all, with the normal water. After that, this Nestler cylinder should be washed with the or rinsed with the some amount of distilled water, so that it should not, there should be not adherence of any type of impurities. Now, as we have a pair of Nestler cylinder, total Nestler cylinder, already we have marked with the test and standard. Very first of all, we will perform a procedure for the test. So, first step is we require the measuring cylinder. We will take 25 ml of. The first step is to transfer the 25 ml of test sample solution to the Nestler cylinder, which is marked as a test. Similarly, we will take 1 ml of we will take 1 ml of lead standard solution to the Nestler cylinder, which is marked as a standard. Okay. Then we will add, dilute it with the help of distilled water up to the mark 25 ml. Now next step is maintaining the pH. After making the volume of 25 ml, next step is maintenance of the pH or making the pH acidic, that is by using either glacial acetic acid or dilute ammonia solution. So we will first of all check the pH. So now it is not acidic. So this is not acidic. Now for maintaining the pH acidic, we first of all add some dilute acetic acid so that it will be acidic. So first of all we will take only 1 ml. In both the solutions we will add 1 ml of dilute acetic acid. Once again we will check this pH with the help of glass rod. It is somewhat changing. So right now it is becoming acidic. So if we look at, we require to maintain the pH like this, so it will become acidic. Now after making the pH acidic, next step is we have to add distilled water once again. Solution is required because already the pH was somewhat neutral and we have made already it by acidic by using the dilute acetic acid. So next step is making the volume up to 35 ml. Already we have added 25 ml of up to the volume 25 ml in both the Nessler cylinders. So we will add one more time 10 ml distilled water in both the Nessler cylinders. Now we have made the volume up to the 35 ml. As already we have adjusted the pH to acidic, so it will become acidic. Now if we compare here, so it will become acidic. Okay, so the pH is between the 3 to 5 range. So after adjusting the pH, next step is addition of 1 ml of 10 ml of H2S solution to the both the solutions. So very first of all, what is H2S solution? So H2 hydrogen sulfide solution, we require to precipitate the hydrogen sulfide solution. For this we will take a sulfide beads, and this sulfide beads, by using this sulfide beads in the Gibbs apparatus, that is Gibbs apparatus which is required for the preparation of H2S gas. So how it is prepared? By taking the sulfide beads in the dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid, we will allow them react in between this Gibbs apparatus, and then we will get the H2S gas. So here our next requirement is saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide. So look at this. This is an Gibbs apparatus. So it is a three dome apparatus which is known as a Gibbs apparatus. Here uh, this is first lobe, second lobe and third lobe. In the first lobe, very first of all, from this side we have to insert dilute hydrochloric acid, or either dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid. And here from this we can place some beads of the hydrogen, some beads of the iron sulfides. So that what happens whenever the uh, this level of this dilute hydrochloric acid rises and it comes into contact with the these sulfide beads, there is a reaction takes place between the sulfide beads, iron sulfide beads and dilute hydrochloric acid, and there will be production of the H2S gas takes place. So here we will see here is the generation of H2S gas. So very first of all we will open up this knob and we will saturate these solutions. Okay, so okay, after completion of the 5 minutes, this will be get completely saturated. So this is the saturated hydrogen sulfide solution. Now next step is addition of the saturated hydrogen sulfide solution. 10 ml of saturated freshly prepared hydrogen sulfide solution. Now we will take 10 ml. Okay, 10 ml of freshly prepared hydrogen sulfide solution. Firstly, we will add into the solution of test Nessler cylinder. Similarly, we will add 10 ml of saturated hydrogen sulfide solution. Standard. And the last step is with the help of distilled water we will make up the volume. Okay. Now, after making the volume in the both the Nessler cylinder, we will stir them well. For 5 minutes. After completion of 5 minutes, we will see there is development of some black precipitates there. If you look at standard solution having some black precipitates produced here, test sample which is a very clear solution. So here the black precipitate produced in the test standard sample we have to compare with the test. So as per our principle, and here we have discussed that the solution of the solution of heavy metals after treating with the saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide, it contains some metal ions. It will produce the either black color precipitate or colored precipitate. So here black color precipitate is produced in the standard as it contains standard amount of lead impurities in the solutions. And test having no such type of any black precipitate, it means the test sample having no lead impurities present or no heavy metal impurities present in the solution. So we can, after comparing, as it is a white black precipitate, it is easily observed. We can vertically view and we can easily observe that there is no precipitate, no black precipitate or less intensity of black precipitate in the test sample as compared to that of standard. So it can conclude that the test sample having less heavy metal impurities as compared to that of standard. That means we can conclude that as the given test sample having heavy metal impurities within the pharmacopoeial limit, hence we can confirm that the given test sample passes the limit test for heavy metal as compared to the standard, and it will pass it, the given unknown sample passes the limit test for heavy metal as per I. So students, here after completion of practical, we got the observation here. There is slight development of black color precipitate within the test solution, and there is specific amount of black color precipitate is produced in the standard solutions. As we are comparing, the black color precipitate or color developed in the test solution is very less as compared to that of standard solutions, or it is less intense than that of the standard solution. We can say here that the given sample passes the heavy metal limit test and vice versa. We are using here acetic acid for maintaining the pH between 3 to 4. So based on the above the observations and conclusion, we can say that the given sample passes the limit test for heavy metal. Note here that we can perform the limit test for volatile oils, that is the heavy metal limit test for volatile oils. For this, we require 25 ml glass topper test tubes. To that, 10 ml of oil are shaken with the equal volume of water, having drop of hydrochloric acid. Then hydrogen sulfide is passed through the mixture until it gets saturated. There should be no darkening in the color should get produced either in the oil or the water layer for the sample to pass the limit test as compared to that of standard. So this we have to take into the consideration. So here now we will see the different YO questions. First of all, objective question. So here first question is the right principle behind the limit test for heavy metals. As already we have discussed that the heavy metals are allowed to react with the saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide, that will produce the metal sulfides that will give the black color or precipitate to the solutions. Then we have to compare the intensity of the color or amount of the precipitate with that of standards. Second question is how the limit test for heavy metal in volatile oil is conducted. Here we are performing this heavy metal limit test for volatile oil. First of all, we require the test tube with the or we can say that is glass topper test tubes, where we can take equal volume of water and hydrochloric acid, then shake the mixture along with the that and pass the hydrogen sulfide gas. Then it should be not there should be not darker color to the oil layer or water layer than that of standard solutions. Next question is what is the role of acetic acid in the limit test of heavy metal. Here the role is to maintain the pH between 3 to 4. The next question is how color or precipitate is produced in the heavy metal limit test. That is based upon the principle that whenever the hydrogen sulfide saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide is allowed to react with the heavy metal, it will produce as the either black brown color precipitate or color to the solutions, and we have to compare the intensity of that color or amount of the precipitate to of sample to that of standard, because the reaction between the heavy metal and hydrogen sulfide, that will give the formation of metal sulfides, which are generally having color or precipitate. Next question is how saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide is produced. So here we require Gibbs apparatus, where we are taking the iron sulfide beads and allow them to react with the dilute sulfuric acid, that will produce the hydrogen sulfides gas. That H2S gas is then allowed to saturate it in the proper solvent, that is distilled water. There are few MCQs. First of all, acetic acid is added in the limit test of heavy metal 2. So there are options. First, prevent the supersaturation. Second option is to increase the sensitivity of the reaction. C option is maintain the pH of the solution between 3 to 5. And fourth option is none of these. So here correct answer is maintain the pH of the solution between 3 to 5. Second MCQ, limit test of heavy metal has been based upon the reaction between and to obtain the color or precipitate. So here are the options. First, heavy metal and acetic acid. B option is heavy metal and ammonia. C option is saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide and heavy metal. And D is the none of these. So correct option is here saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide and heavy metal. Third MCQ is following are the reagents used in the limit test of heavy metals. So here are the options. First, saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide. B is the ammonia solution. C is the acetic acid. D is all of the above. So the correct option is here all of the above. Next MCQ is saturated solution of hydrogen sulfide is produced by first reaction between hydrogen gas with dilute hydrochloric acid, reaction between iron sulfide beads with dilute H2SO4. C is the reaction between iron metal dilute sulfuric acid. D is the none of the above. So here correct option is reaction between iron sulfide beads with the dilute H2SO4. Last MCQ is the principle behind limit test of heavy metal is to compare operations of the test solution with the standard. B. To compare reddish black color intensity of test solution with the standard solution. To compare pink color of rest solution with the standard. And none of the above. So correct option is here to compare the reddish black color intensity or precipitate of test solution with that of standard solution. So here is the correct option is B. So thank you. So here we had completed the heavy metal limit test practical. Thank you.